I ask for the truth on behalf of Jennifer Williams concerning that which is significant in her life right now. And I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love, and non-violence. Blessed be to the crow, the carrier of souls from darkness into light. And we cut the deck for you there, Jennifer, and we'll place just to the side over here. And I'll deal out 3 cards. First card we'll deal is in the position of the past, the recent past. Call this one the recent past influence. Then the next card that we deal is in the position of the present. This is the present influence. And then the future, which is the immediate future influence, we just place there. Just arrange that there, just so you can see that a bit better. The recent past is a period of time between now and this time last month, about 28 days or so, about a moon phase ago, about a month. And of course a month ahead is the immediate future. And Jennifer Williams is right in the middle here, right now. So what we'll do then, we'll flip each card in turn. We shuffled on your behalf and of course asked for that which is significant. It's going on right now. This is relevant, I suppose. Normally don't do general readings like this, but considering we have spoken, then really it's not worth mentioning that in a public broadcast type thing here, in a something that's published publicly, whatever. I want to just pull out the first card, and we'll go into the essence of what's been going on just recently here with you. Let's just flip the card nice and slowly there and just see what its energy is. Notice that you've got a major arcana card. You've got Justice. Crowley calls Justice adjustment. Crow here, because Crow is king in this particular deck, Crow refers to it as balance, as if you've been seeking a balance in some way, shape or form just recently, trying to put things right, adjust, I suppose, of course, from the Crowley perspective. Notice here we've got Crow here. Crow is king, as the head of some humanoid figure. Notice the fire here, as if where the all is consumed in the fire after the judgment, and the sword and the scales there, of course, helping balance things out. I get a sort of sense as though, yes, healing, as based upon what we spoke about earlier on. It can, I suppose, represent some sort of self-healing or something of that nature, can't it? For what's been going on there. So that, notice the red there, a lot of psychological. I get as though for as much as you're healing, it is affecting you psychologically. I mean, it will do, but it's. I sort of get the sort of feeling as though you're sort of finding it hard to adjust anyway. With the adjustment, you're finding it hard to adjust. You did imply that anyway, didn't you? Really, but you've just got to get on with it and move on, I suppose. And Crow is here just to say, I am here to help you. I've been helping you to adjust over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, but did you take my advice, Jennifer? That's the question. I got this sort of flash of lightning, as if in this particular case, I don't know what this is, but I'm locking onto that. I don't know, as if it's something somehow indicating a flash of inspiration. Maybe it's that could save you. A symbol of not a capacitor, but it looks like that, doesn't it? A sort of it's like 2 arrows, isn't it, just on a line, but you could sort of get away with calling it a capacitor, as if there's some capacitance to endure or to endure, but to sort of find the capacity to do it, to do what you've got to do. Because one has to move on, doesn't one? And a flash of inspiration may be, I don't know about so much finding a support group, but certainly finding something to do, like doing a journal or writing a book or joining a club or even just joining more groups on here on Facebook. God help you. But every time I join groups, I keep getting kicked out. They keep saying I'm too dark. I don't know why. I don't know where they're getting that idea from. I'm too truthful, I think. That's what it is. But we'd worked that one out anyway. That's why this group's got over 21 and a half members so far. Because I like to do the truth, and this is the problem of the truth, isn't it? It can hurt, but it can have a psychological effect. I get a sense as though that's what it is, isn't it? It's the psychological effect of the truth that's affected you, and you've got to adjust. Not get over it. Nobody's telling you to get over it, but it's about learning to cope by a flash of inspiration, thinking of an idea how to do this. Do I do it by not so much divorcing myself from it by taking my mind off it and pretending it isn't there, but how can I do something with me? Remember, life is for the living, not the dead. And with that, I'm going to pull out the next card. I'm going to flip it and see what its energy is there, Jennifer, to see what's going on now. We just flip the card there, a major arcana card again, like as you had the Justice. You've now got the Tower. The Tower often can symbolise downfall and things. In the Crowley deck, it represents the Eye of Horus striking the Tower, and you've got a serpent one side and a dove the other, as if a serpent one side, a dove the other, as if giving a choice, because the original title for the Tower was War. It was called War originally, and then they called it the Tower after. They called it War because you have that choice of war or peace. When the Eye of Horus strikes the Tower, the garrison fall. Those at the top fall the furthest, of course. So those, I suppose, not just in positions of power fall the furthest, but those maybe with the most fulfilled lives fall the furthest, when those lives break down and change in some regard. This tends to focus on, as you can see, a draconian, forceful energy, something that's giving you literally no choice. To whatever happens here now, you've got no choice. You still have choices in the sense that you can choose how you deal with it, but you've got no power to change it. You had no power to change the adjustments that had to be made over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, because of the psychological effect that it was having on you. Either that, or it would kill you, or force you to do something to yourself in equivalent sort of effect. But in this case now, you're given no choice, but it seems not cruel, but certainly draconian, very forceful in that sense of the tower has fallen and you've got to rebuild or else. In some decks, like the one JJ, I always tend to focus on a little shrub in the Tarot of Marseille. There's about 2 or 3 of them, isn't there? But there's a little shrub growing by the tower, as if to indicate, although the tower has fallen and the tower has been struck and the garrison has fallen, nevertheless everything has broken down, and it's caused a lot of disruption. Right, there's disruption going on right now, certainly. But although there is that disruption, the little shrub can symbolise new growth amidst the chaos. And there is disruption in your life right now because of the adjustment that you've had to make just recently. But by making the adjustment, it's caused more disruption. But it's got to disrupt. What is it? It depends. Although there's the disruption there, what is it disrupting? What is it interfering with? What's it? Is it for the better or something? Well, I've got to clear out that drawer with all those photographs in, or I've got to clear out all that rubbish that, you know, he used to hoard or whatever, because it's reminding me all the time of him. I've got to get rid of it because it's rubbish now. It's no use to me. Maybe a clearing out of the clutter. Maybe that's the disruption. The fact that your life is disrupted at the moment through that. I want to move on to see what the immediate future is. I just want to flip this card over here just to see what's going to happen within the next month, in the next 28 days or so. We'll just flip the card. This is a minor arcana card, the 4 of Wands. Crowley calls it the Lord of Completion. Maybe in that sense, I suppose it could be, because 4 is a square number, isn't it? Any number between 4 and 9, that's the numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, are to do with the element of water. So you could call it the watery part of. Wands is fire, so it's the watery part of fire. Like quenching the flames or something like that. But notice you've got Wolf, and Wolf is there. Crow is there to guide you, because the bird people are there to guide. They carry the messages from the heavens to the earth. But Wolf, Wolf Brother is now there. There's still guidance here with the tower, but it's a sort of bird spirit that is hard guidance to follow, but you've got to do it, giving you no choice, no power to change things. You've just got to make the right choice, maybe to disrupt. Maybe disruption is that. Maybe you've got to bring something down so you can rebuild. You can't rebuild on that land where that big building is unless you knock the old building down, if it's no good. And in this sort of sense, we've got Wolf Brother. Wolf is one of the 4-legged ones. The 4-legged ones, they walk the earth and they protect, don't they? So there's protection. Wolf, of course, is protection anyway. Indicating there that you will be safe and protected at all times throughout the next month or so. Often wolf is seen to be howling in the moon, but of course not howling at the moon, but the moon represents introspection, and the wolf can symbolise the darker side of one's soul, called the shadow, as the Druids often refer to it as. And maybe, although one it does a bit of soul searching, literally in that sense, that's when one discovers one's own stamina, and where you get a bit more go out of it, because you say, yes, I've got to move on. Yes, I realise there's bad, but I also realise there's good, and I realise that there are many of those who are dead. But there are many of those who are alive, and life is for the living, as you've already realised, and it's moving on. I'm just going on the theme basically of what we spoke about to sort of try and link the energies here in there, because I've got a bit of a head start with your question anyway, haven't I, really, Jennifer? We're cheating really to some degree, but that's what it's all about, cheating anyway, with tarot or any form of guidance. If you know what you want guidance on, you can use the energies of the cards to find an answer. And this is sort of saying as though with that, with that, there's also, you know, whatever you will be doing in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so, it'll have a bit of potency to it. There's the Aries there as well, indicating gaining some form of control, like the ram up a mountain or whatever, maintaining balance, although it may be uneven ground. Aries there again with the Tower. Aries, although there's the Libra there, the Libran energy of justice there. Nevertheless, you got Aries under the Tower. The Tower, forceful energy, draconian energy, disruption. Nevertheless, disruption in order to sort of establish control again of something, and then control is established through the protection of the wolf, through completion. The fact that this has got to be done. It's got to be done, or else we're going nowhere with this, and this is what it's about. Not just certain things have physically got to be done, but this has got to be done with you as well. And then once you can do that, you can be free, you can be liberated from that which is torturing you, that which is persecuting you, that which is tormenting you. I want to pull out some runes here. I want to see what Odin has to say about this. This is interesting, isn't it? Really. I just want to see what that's about. I'm just going to pull out ask Odin there for just to further insight into what this is about. The adjustment, of course, to do with Canna's there, the torch, which is the coming to light. As you can see there, coming to light. A bit like when you put a poker into a fire and it starts to glow. Things have been coming to light. Maybe that's what the adjustment is. You've been having to adjust to things as they come to light. And oh, this is cropped up, that's cropped up, and we've got to adjust to it because you've suddenly realised something else, or you've suddenly noticed something, or you've been going through some drawers or cupboards or something and found something. Oh, knickers, what do I do with that? And it's that sort of thing. But what's happening now with this rather dark energy here of the Tower, really giving you no choice. Well, you got the love rune there, you got Laggies there, the love rune. Of course, it indicates birth, it can indicate birth as well. Maybe that's what it is. For there to be birth, there has to be death. But birth and death come hand in hand, don't they? As one thing dies out, another thing can be born. In the sense, you can give birth to the rest of your life. But in this case, of course, although there is the unconditional love, it's a downfall, it's a breakdown, it's disruption for the better. It's done out of love. It's done because Spirit loves you, or it's done, or you may be even doing it out of self-love. I've got to clear out that, because it's only hurting me by looking at it every day. I've got to get rid of it. Yes, it may sort of seem as if it's being a bit disrespectful to those who've passed, but I've got to, for my own sanity, and maybe that's what it is. It's more to do with self-love. As things have come to light, and you've started making adjustments, started to purify at the same time. You've discovered that this birth within you is pure love, and it's self-love. And you realise that self-love is there. Odin is there saying self-love is bringing down and breaking down the old to make way for the new. And notice there you've got the Perthro, which is the cup, isn't it? That's the cup that the dice goes. It's done like that. The cup, and you put the dice in, you give it a shake and then chuck it, and oh, there's a fall. It's the old joke, isn't it? If you throw a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you throw a 1, 2, 3, or a 5, you've got to jump in the lake, and if you chuck a 6, you get to throw again. But this is the sort of thing, it's casting lots, isn't it? It's usually read on its side like that. And that just indicates really chance. Maybe a risk can represent unnecessary risks, but in this case, because it's completion, because Wolf is there to protect, because you're there to use your stamina to sort of have some effect, some potent effect upon the immediate future to bring about possible change. It's a risk worth taking, isn't it? It's a chance worth taking, it's a gamble worth making. If it doesn't pay off, you're going to be no better off than what you were. You're not going to be worse off though, but you're not going to be any better off. So at the end of the day, the only way is up if it does work. Nobody can say it did well, but also it can indicate sometimes that Perth Row can also indicate secrets being revealed, maybe through being protected, and maybe through the completion. When things are complete, you'll find something out that I get a sense you'll find something out that maybe, well, thank God I did do that. Thank God I did do that, or I did this, I did that, or thank God that was thrown out, or thank God I moved on, or I joined that club, or I met that person, or whatever it was. Thank God, whatever, because now I know that. Really, maybe it's a secret revealed that's a positive thing, in the sense of, phew, well, it wasn't that bad after all, or something like that. A bit like finding out somebody's died in the sleep by just falling asleep and dying, as opposed to suffering in pain. It's a similar sort of thing like that, you know. Well, yeah, I thought they'd suffered in pain and they hadn't. I'm not saying it's that, I'm just saying it's that sort of thing where it's not as bad as all that, you know. So, whatever this is about there, Jennifer, I don't know, but you know the truth, and I hope that he's helped in some way for now anyway. So for now, blessed be to Odin and all the Norse gods, and blessed be to Crow, the carrier of souls from darkness into light. For now, these runes and these cards have now spoken.